about to arrive as manager. What can you tell us in terms of the latest?
He's certainly leaning towards taking it. At camp, they had meetings with Alisher Usmanov and kind of went through what the project entails. And I think what's appealing to him is that, after years, or I think one of the things is, after years of people saying, oh, look, he only manages top clubs, ready-made teams, he comes in, this is a historically great club, which has fallen upon tough times for many years now. And now they're ambitious, there's funding behind it. I think he would have wanted to get reassurances on the investment in terms of financial fair play and the Premier League equivalents, short-term cost controls, because they have spent quite a bit of money. But he's intrigued, and he's certainly leaning in that direction. He's also going to want, I think, assurances in terms of the people around him. We call these guys managers. Well, Carlo Ancelotti is a coach. He doesn't go and sign players and whatever else. So I think the relationship with Marcel Brands, who's the current director of football at the club, is going to be important as well, and figuring these things out. So I think he's going to take a day or two to think about it, but he's certainly leaning in that direction.
Don, as a former Everton man, do you want this to happen?
Do you know what? I'm really torn on this because I'm an Ancelotti fan, and I have been for a long time. And I like what he does with his teams. But Ancelotti's been a man over the years that's always been in and around first, second and third. And he's tried to tweak, little things to try and either make himself a European champion or win in leagues. And he's done it really well. He's quite laid back as a coach. My worry is, I think with Duncan Ferguson being in charge for the couple of games that he had, and Everton's always been a club that's been a club on emotion. You play at Goodison Park and you captain Everton and you walk out to the Gladys Street end. It's an emotional club. It always has been. And Duncan's had a terrific couple of games. And the backstory with Howard Kendall's watch and the sweatbands of the kids from Alderley Hospital all leans towards it being a very emotional club and a personal club. And the reason why I'm torn is because I don't think the board need to rush on this one. Farhad Moshiri and Bill Kenwright will be split, I would imagine, because I'm pretty sure Bill Kenwright would want Duncan Ferguson in the job. The two results that he's had, the 3-1 win against Chelsea and the 1-1 draw when they played really well against Man United. But I think Farhad Moshiri said when he first took over the club that he wants Hollywood signings, he wants Hollywood managers, and he wants to take Everton into the Champions League, and he wants them playing European football. This is not going to happen in a couple of windows. This is going to be a long-term project. So the reason why I am torn is because I don't think Ancelotti will be the man to try and get Everton there, unless Duncan Ferguson maybe stays with him as a number 2 or number 3, and they have a plan where Ancelotti gets them as close as he possibly can. I mean, Farhad Moshiri's put £500 million into Everton. Marcus Silva spent £190 million, so the funds are there. The new stadium's going to be there. It's just I'm a little bit torn whether you give Ancelotti the job and expect him to do what he's done over the years, or you just keep it emotional and you just say to Duncan, look, you just carry on and do what you're doing.
It's a big rebuild, isn't it?
Yeah.
But in all fairness, it would be a bit of a statement for Everton Football Club, in my opinion, to go out and get someone like Ancelotti. Yeah. Now, the other side of that is there's no point, it's a complete waste of time trying to bring in somebody like Ancelotti if you're not going to back him. Yep. If you do this, you are going to have to back your man, and that means within the constraints of the financial fair play, you're going to have to go out and spend, because the club needs a rebuild anyway. And if you make a statement signing like this as manager, and it would be a statement, then you have to go out and back your man.
Yeah. I mean, given the clubs he's been at previously, this is a different sort of challenge, isn't it?
It is a different challenge, and from Ancelotti's perspective, I think we would all agree here, sitting on this table, say, why don't you just go play some golf, buddy? Take some time off. However, if he wants to jump into this, and I'm assuming that he has had some sort of assurance that, look, we're spending big money, it's happening, it's coming, the players are coming, you're going to have the material to work with that you're used to working with. And if that's the case, that doesn't happen, as Don just mentioned, it doesn't happen over 1 or 2 windows. We're talking about an Everton team that has struggled mightily this season. And part of that is the manager, but part of that is also the player personnel that is available. And so Ancelotti, is he going to work miracles with the players that he has there? No. So this is going to take time. And is Ancelotti being the guy over his long storied career as a manager that has stuck around for a long period of time to see a process through? This is different from all sorts of perspective, from Everton perspective, and it's different from Ancelotti's perspective.
It's about getting the right type of manager. You know, yes, it's a statement if you get Ancelotti because of the CV he's got, but right now they need somewhere in the middle between a Duncan Ferguson and Ancelotti.
Right.
Somebody who can do a little bit of both. Because until they completely change around the playing staff, they're going to be struggling.
Well, this is where Everton are very much struggling in 16th place. Wonder what
Well,
reaction-
fair play to him. Listen, and I know Ali mentioned, we always think that with managers. You know, go and have a break. But, I mean, in some sense, they can't help themselves. They've got that drug and that bug they want to get back in. And fair play if he wants to get his hands and roll his sleeves up and get involved in something like that. But as we know from different clubs that have struggled, sometimes it's easier to get players in than it actually is to get players out. And Everton need to get players out.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.